Good evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, Ese Oruru returns to Bayelsa State in the company of her mother after undergoing medical tests at the Police Gender and Child Care Protection Unit in Abuja. Security beefed up at Babington Macaulay Junior Seminary as Lagos State government promises speedy action on the rescue of kidnapped students. President Buhari holds talks with Turkish counterparts, pledges not to lose focus in the fight against terrorism. And NATO commander in Europe accuses Russia and Syria of deliberately using migration as a tool to destabilize Europe.
And on Business News tonight, Nigeria and Turkey signed 2 memorandum of understanding on trade and the economy.
And in sports news, Michel Platini takes his appeal against FIFA's 8-year ban to the Court of Arbitration for Sports.
I'm Linda Kibe, and from Abuja, indigenes of Benue community in Abuja protest the killing of the kinsman in Agatu, allegedly by herdsmen.
We begin tonight with an update on Ese Oruru, the 14-year-old teenager who was allegedly abducted from her home in Bayelsa and taken to Kano by one Yunusa Dahiru alias Yellow. Reports this evening say she has eventually arrived in Bayelsa State in company of her mother and some police officers from Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Soon after her arrival, they went into a secret meeting with the Commissioner of Police, Pt.1, at the police officers' mess, Yenagoa. The media was completely shut out from the meeting as the police said the girl had undergone too much humiliation and should not be further exposed. Earlier, our correspondent spoke with the Commissioner of Police on Ese's arrival. Well, our correspondent Dobra Timiwood was also at the residence of the Orurus, where a couple of people were seated in anticipation of Ese's return much earlier today.
Behind me are relatives of Esther Oruru who are anticipating her arrival from Abuja. Everybody's waiting for her to come. They're expected in Yenagoa any moment from now. I'll just have a chat with our elder brother Kelvin Oruru, who will tell me preparations that are being made for Esther's arrival in Yenagoa.
We are all excited. You can see the crowd. We are all patiently waiting for her arrival.
What do you think? What do you think you'd feel the first time you see her?
I'm very happy. Even as at now, I have not seen her. So when I see her, that will be a special thing.
Thank you. Everybody is waiting. Any moment from now, Esther Oruru would arrive in Yenagoa at this particular point before she goes to her house. So we'll keep you posted on the development of her. I'm Dobra Timiwood, reporting for Channels Television News.
Now, journalists who gathered at the force headquarters as early as 9 in the morning waited patiently at the conference room of the Inspector General of Police but could not witness the handover. As the force PRO, ACP Bisi Kolawole, said in a short speech read to the media, an in-house investigation has been launched by the Inspector General of Police to vet the involvement of the Nigerian police in the 6-month duration of the abduction.
The police have today secured the release of Ese Oruru, the girl child victim from the Kano State Sharia Commission. She is currently in safe custody of officers of the gender unit of the force. I can also confirm that the force has also taken into custody Yunus Adayiru, alias Yellow, her abductor. The victim is currently being granted psychological and emotional support by officers of the Gender and Child Protection Unit of the force, which handles cases of this nature that touch on violence against children. In addition, a team from the medical department of the force have also extended medical attention to the girl child Upon certifying medical status and emotional state, Ese Oruru will be reunited with her parents today, who are also around to work with police professionals in these regards.
As the mother, not that any other thing to say, because already on a dot right, we bless people, all the Nigerian people in short, just work hard so that I can get my daughter back. Now I don't get my daughter, now to go and thank everybody, both policemen, everybody when you work, so I don't carry my people. I will go with her. God bless everybody.
We're staying with Esther Oruru's story. Joining us now on the News at 10 to discuss further the situation surrounding her abduction is the Executive Director, Project Alert, an NGO that protects and advocates the rights of children. Mrs. Josephine Efa Chukuma joins me now in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10.
Amarachi. Thank you.
Well, let's hear what you think about the Esther Oruru story.
Well, it's an interesting one, and at the same time a very sad one. That a young girl could just be whisked off from her home and taken from one end of the country to the other for 6 months, and the parents basically almost begging for the child to be freed. It's almost like, the analogy I can make is like a stray dog that maybe wandered into someone's home, and then you have to go and beg that, give me my child, rather than the other way round, because since last year the parents have been, the mother especially, you know, going all the way to Kano.
But what do you think could have happened? I mean, she could have just upped and left.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of stories going around, but I look at it from two perspectives. Number one, it could very well be the man in question looks like someone in his 20s. I've seen the picture, you know. It very well, I mean, the story says the man usually goes to her mother's shop to buy things. It could be that along the line, they got talking, they got friendly. You can't rule that out. And maybe there was something between them, maybe there was not. But whatever it was, he should have known better than to abduct, than to, even if they were in a relationship or they're in a relationship. Just whisking the little girl away. I'm not debating if she's 13 or 14 or 17 has been said. She's underage. I mean, whatever it is, she's not 18.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't just take her away without the consent of her parents.
And at 13, which is the official age that we know, she's not legally an adult. So
even up to 17, she's not. The child rights law says 18.
Well, it brings up the question about the child rights order you're talking about. Does have her rights been violated?
Her rights have been violated as a child because the issue of abduction, she can't give consent. At that age, she can't give consent. So she couldn't, she hasn't even gotten the ability, the rights to say, oh, I want to go with you. You know, taken away, sexually abused, I'm sure, because she couldn't have been away for the 6 months, you know, and kept like that.
Now, it might seem like, you know, she had been brainwashed the period of time that she was away. I mean, that's a speculation, though. The police will determine that after their tests have been done. But is there a guarantee that she might return to Kano?
Well, I spoke to someone in Kano who actually was there last year when when it was taken to the emir and all that, and said actually at some point she resisted coming back.
Oh.
That's the story I heard. I don't know how far it's true. I mean, I didn't hear that from SA herself, but someone said when they were with the AIG that she was actually saying she doesn't want to go back, she doesn't want to come back. Of course, that's also understandable, because she would have thought, oh my God, I'm in trouble. I've put my parents through so much. So even the fear, oh God, if I get to, what will they do? After all the publicity, after I've been returned, just like she's been returned, of course, now the doors will close. It will be her and the family. And that's why, I mean, returning her shouldn't just end it. We still need to be in touch with her. People need to talk to her, to counsel her, because 6 months is not 6 days or 6 hours. A lot of things must have gone on, which she needs to sort of debrief, you know, speak it out, spit everything out, and along the line get to understand better what really happened to her.
Do you think this was traumatic for her?
I believe it was. I believe it was. It may, some people would say, oh, it was a case of a young girl who decided to run away with whoever. But despite that, the shock the South and the environment she lived in definitely is different from what she met there. Some things would have shocked her. Well, she may have thought she's having fun, if at all, you know, and all that. So definitely it was a traumatic experience, I believe, for her.
Well, you know, the essence of all of this is to talk about also how this can be prevented. How can we prevent another case like essays happening again? It's
a huge one, because there's so many things we're dealing with here. On the one hand, we're also dealing with young people who, you know, also want to be expressive and, you know, be independent and all that. We're dealing with the current situation in the country with abduction of girls. I mean, the Babington Macaulay one is right there, staring us in the face. The Chibok girls, we've been talking about that. You know, we're dealing with so much. So we need, I mean, first and foremost, families need to be on the alert. Families need to be on the alert. Parents, guardians need to be on the alert, because there's so much happening to young girls. And I tell people that working with women and girls, young girls increasingly are becoming like endangered species. You know, they are game for rioters, they are game for kidnappers, they are game for pedophiles. You know, so many things happening. So parents need to be on the alert. Our law enforcement agencies need to be up to speed, because this wouldn't have happened if the police had stepped up on their own part since last year.
Mrs. Josephine Efachukuma, thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10. Appreciate your joining us to discuss this issue. Now, in part 2, after the break, Army rescues 701 hostages in Gwoza, Borno State. Please stay with us.